representation from biomedical engineers, though it is a medical devices harmonization event. We also need to have a very important stake in these bodies. Bureau of Indian Standards has almost 21 or 22 subcommittees for medical devices standards. I happen to be member of 2 of those. I'm sure some of our colleagues are members of some others of it. But the overall representation or percentage of representation of biomedical engineers, even in these medical devices subcommittees for making standards, is minuscule, or in some of them even zero. So 21 committees would be one for radiotherapy, one would be for orthopedic implants, so of different domains. But we need to have a representation in each and every committee of it. NABL recently came up with standards for calibration of medical devices. I'm not sure how many of us have seen. It has calibration requirements for, I'm not sure, almost 36 equipment, the periodicity and how to do calibrations. And we hardly 1 or 2 representations we've got so far on the process or methodology of doing calibrations on it. Believe me, the standards of biomedical engineers that we are producing in the country, I have had questions on as basic as how do we calibrate an Android BP apparatus. If as a biomedical engineer that knowledge somehow we are lacking, we need to upgrade ourselves and come together and enhance the skills. NABCB, that is National Accreditation Board for Certifying Body, is the body which has been identified for accrediting bodies, testing labs, who would be then certifying manufacturers for under medical devices rule. So NABCB is also now hiring assessors and technical experts for medical devices, so that under medical devices rule they could accredit some of the medical devices. So this is a hierarchy for our calibration program. Mostly we focus on testing and measuring equipment as an end user only. But we have to enhance our role, get above that, get into certified calibration bodies, move to national accreditation bodies, and ultimately target to international authorities so that our voice is heard at a larger level as well. In the National Health Mission, which is a part of Ministry of Health, Government of India, there have been a lot of investment in the medical devices domain recently. There's a program specifically on dialysis services. So each and every district is now getting dialysis services in public-private partnership mode. There's a free diagnostic initiative where almost 750 crores of money has been spent on providing free in vitro diagnostics and radiology services, both with an in-house capacity as well as public-private partnership. Then there's a program on biomedical equipment maintenance program, which has mapped more than 750,000 equipment worth 4,500 crores, which ensures 90% upkeep time of uptime for medical devices, has been implemented in 21 states, and each one of us has an important stake in that. So this is also an opportunity for all of us to pitch in. The abbreviation for EDL is Essential Diagnostic List. So at what level, at district level, at sub-district level, at a block level, or at a village level, what are the essential diagnostics that are important has been published by Ministry of Health recently. And so far, we haven't received any representation from a biomedical engineer that these kind of diagnostics are important and these kinds of diagnostics are irrelevant. So far, we've received a representation from so many stakeholders, but not biomedical engineers. And it's an important this thing for us. So in our country, there are so many medical devices parks also coming up. Recently, the Andhra Pradesh Medical Devices Park in Telangana also declared, Gujarat and Maharashtra as well. So a lot of opportunity for all of us to come. Why do we need biomedical engineers? An alarming trend. We've had so many adverse events. 24 infants died in a space of 72 hours. 5 newborns receiving treatment for jaundice faced burning. 3-day-old killed after incubator caught fire in hospitals in Ahmedabad. An 8-minute power cut at a premier hospital. We have been hearing so many such news. Gorakhpur tragedy. We've been hearing about implant files in Indian Express. But what have we done? Have we prepared ourselves or no? Now, there is a program on Material Vigilance Program of India for adverse event reporting of medical devices. And we ourselves are not very much aware of that. Are you aware if you come across a medical device adverse event, you could actually report it? Anyone is aware of it? And if you are actually, where do we do that? So there's a toll-free number, 1800-180-3024, which means you can register an adverse event. You would give more details. They would do a causality assessment of that adverse event. And if there's an alarming trend, signals would be detected, generated. And if a recall is required, a recall would be done. Corrective action is required, a corrective action is done. But for that, all of us have to come together and start working in this direction and look beyond our hospitals as well. So this is the role that we have to envisage. One of my last few slides I'll talk about. In a medical device, we could be working for a manufacturer, right? Our role as a manufacturer, we have to work on the design safety of the equipment. Then as a supplier, we have to work on the design safety of the installation and performance of the unit. We have to be wary of. As a service agency or as a calibration or as a testing agency, which are very few in number in our country, we have to facilitate periodic quality assurance of the equipment for safe operations. And as an end user, which most of us are, ensure operational safety, protective accessories, qualified personnel, etc. we have to ensure. So we have to ensure that we are here at all the 4 hierarchies and not restrict ourselves to just one. So this is the last slide. I just had one bullet point on this. Recently, we had 2 or 3 days back, we had the Allied Healthcare Professional Bill presented in the Rajya Sabha. The parliament session is on. How many of us are aware of it? Glad. So, Allied Healthcare Professional Bill is to regulate the allied healthcare professionals. That also lists, by God's grace, biomedical engineering. But believe me, how biomedical engineering has been defined is not in a good manner. And the regulators of our education so far has been AICTE, All India Council for Technical Education. But AICTE has not been mentioned in that bill. It is Medical Council of India, Nursing Council of India, and other allied healthcare professionals. So believe me, if we are not going to raise our voice now, so the biomedical engineering education and as a profession would be regulated by Medical Council of India, Nursing Council of India, and it's our stand that we have to take. We need to be wary about such things. I don't know why such news do not instill the required movement among us, but it should now. With this, I would conclude my discussion, and maybe we could continue more and more. Otherwise, I'm sure my time is getting over. With this, thank you so much, and thank you for your patient listening. Jai Hind.
Thank you very much, sir. We would now like to invite questions from the audience.
Ask if you have any questions. Please feel free. Yes, sir.
Hi. Hello. Amit.
Yes, sir.
In this national health policy,
yes,
so everywhere it is mentioned as a medical devices,
yes,
but when we look at the content, everywhere it is implants only. We are discussing about the implants, not on the equipments.
Yes.
Why that is there? So could you please explain on that?
Because one of the important reasons, in fact, we should be thankful that at least medical devices is there. And why implants is there? Because if you see the 23 regulated devices, mostly implants are only regulated. Amongst these 23 devices, infusion pumps are not regulated. X-ray machines are not regulated. Those things.
None of the equipments are regulated in that. Only yes, implants are regulated, yes, like stents and knee.
Implants and those kind of equipment are regulated, and that's how the understanding of people working there. And obviously because the representation of biomedical engineers are not there at that level, the requisite representation, that's why such things happen.
How best we are representing, or we are discussing about the implants part, rather equipments part. How biomedical engineer is best to discuss on that?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
So we are discussing about means medical devices, and under that content we are discussing about the implants only. So how best a biomedical engineer will state a statement on implants?
See, even in implants, the role of biomedical engineers is certainly there. Where it requires biomaterial, biocompatibility testing, it requires the adequate amount of research, it requires adverse event reporting, monitoring, which is actually a role of a biomedical engineer. So we have to realize those roles of ours as well, and then claim our stake in those areas.
Is it happening anywhere in country?
What?
The adverse events of the implants.
Yes, that is happening. So one of the slides that I had,
No, was it been reporting by biomedical engineer or from by
No.
the clinician?
Yes, so that's a good question. Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission has hired a few freshers, biomedical engineers, and they have posted them in some of the hospitals like Narayan Hridayalaya, Bangalore is one. We have in AIIMS, Delhi, PGI, Chandigarh. And these fresher biomedical engineers are reporting very few adverse events, but mostly the adverse events are being reported by the regulated medical device manufacturers. For example, for stents and those things, Abbott and Boston Scientific, those are reporting.
I think we should get with equipment regulating policy rather means focusing on the implant side. So at least if we start from now, the policies, regulating policies on the equipment through the biomedical engineers, that would be helpful. As you said, allied healthcare professional bill is already in place. So if you could incorporate the biomedical engineers for equipment processing, that would be helpful for all of us.
I am not the authority. I am the. I could at maximum be a motivational lecturer at this
based
stage.
on the healthcare
My
policy.
role is very restricted to National Health Mission, Free Diagnostic Initiative, developing technical specifications for medical device procurement, biomedical equipment maintenance program, also adverse event monitoring, health technology assessment. But regulations overall is not my authority. And we as a biomedical engineer have to come together and make representation. And I also have restriction when I sit on my chair. I cannot be cribbing about what problem I have in my own system. I hope you understand with the limited words that I have. Yeah.
See, Government of India has formed the one major doctors and one engineer from our CMC hospital also. They are framing the rules nowadays. They are now, Israel is the one of the company to coordinate with the Indian government and then making one India like that. No, as for our PM, actually we are the manufacturers. Before going to manufacture Indian companies, we need some regulations for the devices, manufacturing devices. For that, Indian government, some of the doctors and one of our CMC is one of the nodal point to accommodate that committee to design the regulations. And then advanced, that is adverse drug monitoring center also is the one of our center. And then drugs.
Sir, it would be beneficial if you could introduce yourself so that your center people would understand maybe.
Yeah.
Which institutes you belong to?
I am CMC Hospital, Vellore.
Oh, CMC Vellore.
Yeah.
Yes, we do have a,
Yeah.
focal person there
Yes,
for that.
yes.
Sorry, I missed CMC Vellore. We have a biomedical engineer posted there as well under Indian Pharmacopoeia Commission.
Yeah, yeah.
And you and your colleagues have been a part of the trainings as well, I'm sure,
Yeah.
to IPC. Yes, very much.
Thank
you
you.
so much. In fact, in the coming week, we have a meeting on evaluating the adverse events that have been accumulated in the past 2 or 3 months, which I would unfortunately miss due to my rigorous travel. Sorry.
Thank you.
I wanted to make a quick statement on the new Medical Device Act. I mean, if you look at the regulation, how things have happened, so we had first a list of 11 medical devices, not equipments, and now it's 23. But I think the invitation from the speaker is that, okay, before that, I see this as a live document. The Medical Device Act, which came in Jan 2018, is just a beginning. And there's a clear hint, it's not a written thing, there's a clear hint from the government that this is the beginning and more devices will be added into it. And for sure, there'll be a day where medical equipments will be added into it. I think this invitation from Mohammed Abil is that, do we wait for that to happen? Or do we, as a biomedical community, start actually be a group of people who sort of invested in that change? Otherwise, we'll be mute spectators. It's happened, okay, now it happened without asking us. It's definitely going to happen over the next few years, but do we watch it happening or do we actually influence it to happen?
Actually, sir, there's a difference also. The medical devices rules is a rule as a part of the existing act itself. It is not a separate act for medical devices, which is yet to come, and that should probably, our say, be. And unless these regulations come, the good manufacturers who adhere to safety norms are missing out. And the cheaper markets are creeping into our market, and then ultimately who is the sufferer? Are biomedical engineers who are not able to cope up with the extensive requirement of maintenance and calibrations and adverse events and whatnot.
Amil, this is Basi Sheikh.
Yes,
My
sir.
question is, as in your presentation you have touched all the points, what everybody's mind. Today is everybody we are sitting here and everybody is having the same points in our mind. But can you guide us how to raise our voices, becoming together and raising voices? That is one. What is the channel for that? Yes. So if you can give some insight on that with your experience, I think that is.
I think Dr. Ranjan would like to speak more on detail, but what we could in this platform discuss is forming an association, and with this association maybe we could put this. I also write, for example, editorials in Hindu or other things, but as a personnel of National Health System Resource Center, there are restrictions. But if supposedly I write on behalf of that association, my wings would be larger, or even for you in that matter. So that's the solution maybe we have. May I have some from
Can
Dr.
I make
Niranjan?
just a quick point? I think we are getting late, but 2 points. One is medical device, as you said. Medical device, if you see the definition, it includes disposables, implants, and medical equipment. Medical equipment, and these are definitions followed mostly in all over the world, and WHO also. So medical equipment is very much a part of medical device. It's a umbrella term. Medical equipment is also defined in terms of that medical device which requires periodic performance evaluation and safety testing. Implants, once implanted, is expected to function all the time. Disposables, once used, thrown away. So if you go through the terminology, then it will be useful. As Amil has said, in my presentation, I'm going to take the opportunity to take us towards something which we can do as a community and represent ourselves, because it has been a thought in our mind for last almost 10 years since we started some activity in 2009, but I think I'll wait for my turn to come in my presentation.
I'll just reiterate what Dr. Niranjan said. Actually, my presentation should have started from there only, but I thought if someone has heard me before, वो लोग कहेंगे ये तो हमेशा यहीं से presentation शुरू करता है. तो actually medical devices is a superset, and medical equipment is a part of medical devices domain, and medical equipment are those medical devices which would need installation, calibration, commissioning, decommissioning, those things. And devices are, there are some of the devices which are not medical equipment, but all medical equipment are devices. So the rest of the Venn diagram, the area which is left after medical equipment are devices which would not need installation, calibration, but are like implants or consumables, those things. Yes. Anything? I'll be still happy to take more questions. Please, sir.
So the question is about the BSI standards for medical devices. So what is your opinion in terms of what is the need of having need of separate testing for medical equipments in India, because two things. We need clinical trials for drugs and pharmaceuticals, because Indian population responds differently in terms of efficacy and side effects to pharmaceuticals. But any patient in anywhere in the world would respond similarly to a medical equipment. That's one. And second thing, the testing standards that we have in India are far, far, far behind what is required. So for example, if I get IntelliFuse tomorrow to get tested in India, it will take me 2 years to equip BSI to do the testing. So if there is a product which is CE approved, FDA approved, why is the government looking at additional certification required from BSI?
Good question. I'll answer it in 2 ways. So for example, if a product is regulated in Europe and it is CE certified, that still requires a regulation in US, you agree? If a product is FDA approved, that would still require a CE clarification, is one part of the question. Second part of the question is, certainly your point is very correct. If you have a testing report from any part of the country, that should